Hi, this is Heather Jerome from heatherjerome.com and from the Sonatas and Partitas.com. I'd like to make a couple of videos about arranging Bach for the guitar. Just overview videos about things you might want to think of before you even get started. Specifically, I want to address the question of making changes to what Bach wrote. There's debate amongst guitarists as to whether it's okay or not to make changes to what Bach wrote. Some people think that what he did couldn't be improved upon and that we shouldn't try to improve upon it. And other people say that, Bach did make changes himself to what he wrote when he was arranging things for other instruments, so we should do it too. And what Frank Kuntz and I did when we looked at his music, when we looked at Bach's music that he arranged from one instrument to another, is we looked at what he did. And we were trying to find a model that we could follow. So in the, I think it's the fifth cello suite, there's this. That's the saraband. And this is the lute version. There isn't a single thing changed, no added bass lines, no filled in chords, nothing. It's the same, completely sparse all the way through, even though on the lute, he could have really filled things out a lot. And I highly recommend you listening to Gustav Leonhard playing it on the harpsichord, because he filled it out a lot, and it's wonderful. Another thing that we looked at was this. This is from the third sonata, the opening movement. That's the first 5 measures. Now listen to what he did in his keyboard arrangement of it. Listen to this line coming up. Isn't that wonderful? Did you hear that line coming from the bass all the way through the tenor, alto, and cadencing up in the soprano? So that went from basically the most simple thing you can do in music. You're in the key of C, no sharps, no flats. Do, re, do. To full chords, both hands, all fingers, lots of chromaticism, rhythmic elaborations, contrapuntal lines interwoven. I mean, that's magnificent. But it's not something that Frank Kuntz and I would try to do when we're making our arrangements. And the biggest reason for that, the biggest reason is that we wouldn't be able to do it very well at all. But the other big reason is that even if we were, that would be our work then. It wouldn't be Bach's. And we did this so that we could publish it and have Bach's works to play on the guitar. So here's another model that we looked at. This is from the third partita. That's the violin part, and this is the lute part. You hear the tiny little difference? The violin ends like this, and the lute ends like that. So there's one extra note. And so you can ask yourself, why is there that tiny little change? Why didn't he do this on the violin? Well, this note is on the second string on the violin. That's the A string, so there's a B. And then there's a D sharp, so that would also be on the violin's A string. So you can't have 2 notes on one string. So he had to take one of them out, so he kept the root and the 7th. And when you hear a root and a 7th, your brain knows that you're hearing a 5-7 chord, and it's fine. But on the lute, you can easily do that. The lute's tuned in thirds, not in fifths. And so you can put that third note in just as easily. So Bach did that. And so that's the model that we follow. We try to be unobtrusive, which Bach didn't need to do. But that's what we do. And we look at things carefully. So for example, sometimes there might be 4 voices, 4 voices, 3 voices, 4 voices, and 4 voices. And so you ask yourself, well, why is it dropping down to 3 voices there? And there's always some reason, like 2 notes would fall on the same string, or a common reason is, well, there's 4 strings on the violin. So what if he wants his melody line to go from E, that's the violin's top string, down to D? And he wants well, he can't have a 4-voice chord, he's only got 3 strings. So those are the types of things that you look at and that you see. And that if it works well to keep it at 4 voices on the guitar, then you might. You want to make sure that you're using the right extra added note, especially if you're going from 2 voices to 3 voices. It's often ambiguous. And we're going to discuss that in the next video, how to go about choosing the right bass note or the right inner voice. So you can watch that one. Let us know what you think about this one at sonatasandpartitas.com.